Welcome to another tutorial here on the Halftone Pro dashboard. This time, the tutorial is about halftone for colored fabrics. And this is where Halftone Pro really stands out. It doesn't limit you to just black or white. Here, you can apply halftone to any fabric color. Again, if you're watching this video in a language other than Brazilian Portuguese, don't worry, the features and buttons will be the same. Alright, as usual, let's open a new file here in Photoshop. Select the desired aspect ratio. Resolution should always be above 300 pixels per inch, RGB colors, 8-bit, black or white background, whatever color you choose, it doesn't make a difference. Here, standard Adobe RGB 1998 and square pixels. Click on Create. File created in Photoshop. I'm going to select the design that'll apply to halftone effect to. I bring it over to Photoshop, hit Enter. Let me just close the folder here. All set. I'm not going to use this background here because it's a black background. I click on it, then click down here, select a solid color, and this will be the color of the t-shirt where I'll apply the halftone effect. I'm going to pick a shade of blue here, which gives a really nice contrast with the design, and I'll select this color, okay? This layer down here, I can delete. All set. A very important detail before you select the color here is that it says not to use pure white or pure black here because the halftone effect won't look good. White doesn't even work here. It actually works incorrectly. So for that, up here you have white fabric and also several options for black fabric. Use this halftone here exclusively for colored fabrics because it's already been tested and calibrated for vibrant colors. So here, my situation is this. I want to apply this design onto a blue t-shirt. And this way of doing it here in the Halftone Pro panel is very simple. If you have a solid color, a design with a solid blue color, that's fine too. If you have, for example, let's say you grab an image from the internet that has a blue background. All you need to do is select the color picker here, grab the eyedropper, and click on that background color. How are you going to use that color inside our panel? It's also very simple. All you have to do is come here to where the color code is, press Ctrl-C to copy it, or right-click here and select Copy. Go here inside our panel, right where the color picker is, and notice that it has a manual section. You don't need to select it manually. Just double-click here, press Ctrl-V to paste it, and automatically we already have the chosen color that's inside Photoshop. This is the first step for you to carry out the halftone process for colored fabrics. Next, the LPI preset settings will be pretty much the same as for all the halftones available in the panel. The only difference is that this halftone has a tolerance bar, and it works pretty much the same way as the halftone for white fabric, that tolerance control. The only difference is that here it's in a bar format, so it works like this. If I move the bar down to 0, it means I'm going to preserve more solid details of the design. It will apply the halftone with a more moderate intensity. On the other hand, if I move the tolerance bar all the way up, it will apply the halftone in a more aggressive way. It will apply the halftone to more areas of the design. I'll do both here again, both tolerance settings, so you can see this difference in practice. So tolerance at 3, I'll apply a halftone of 30 LPI here. It already sends the script over to Photoshop. Notice that it's really smooth and also very fast. Finishing up, halftone applied. Here, we already have the halftone nicely applied to the blue fabric. Now notice that I'm going back to my original design, I'm going to increase the tolerance bar, and I'll click here to apply the 30 LPI halftone again. It'll load and go through the halftone process. All done, halftone created. Here, you can already see with the naked eye that you can tell the difference in tolerance. Here, with lower tolerance, it applies the halftone to fewer areas of the design, keeping more solid details. And here, on the other hand, it applies the halftone to almost the entire design. Notice that pretty much the whole design turns into a halftone screen. One thing I always recommend you keep in mind is the background color. Like here, we have a color, a kind of blue pattern, which gives a nice contrast with the background. Let me just close these two here, which are the halftone layers. I'm going to pick and create a different background color. Just hit Ctrl Z to bring back the color layer. I'm going to pick a slightly more grayish color here. Copy it again here, hit Ctrl C. I go back to my panel, hit Ctrl V so it selects the color from Photoshop, and I'm going to apply a 30 LPI with low tolerance here. Again, it's going to process the halftone dots. Awesome. And here, I'm going to apply a higher tolerance. Just so you can see that the background color also plays a big role when you're choosing the tolerance. Halftone applied, see? Notice that here, with a more grayish background, even with a really low tolerance, it already applied the halftone to more areas of the design, because here, the background isn't as contrasting. On the other hand, over on the blue background, it had applied the halftone here on top of the TNT box. In this case, with the gray background, it didn't apply it there. So our software detects these tonal contrasts and applies the halftone correctly, so you don't lose important details in your design. On the other hand, with a higher tolerance, it's going to apply it to more areas of the design. That's pretty much it. This automatic halftone feature for colored fabrics is really straightforward. It allows you to create countless variations. It really depends on what you need and your judgment on whether it's worth applying more or less tolerance so you can get the best possible print. Now, let's move on to the manual part here in Halftone for colored fabrics.